This podcast may contain adult language and themes, or it might not. We're not really sure. We haven't recorded it yet.
I'm Jason.
I'm Diggs.
I make software, music, and podcasts.
I connect people personally and professionally, and I like talking with Jason.
This is the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast.
5 conversations.
5 random topics.
5 minutes each.
When we hear this sound,
we move on to the next topic. Next.
On every episode, we invite a very special guest to join us. And that very special guest on today's episode is my good friend, Pat Buzzard.
Hey, how's everybody? There's no live audience?
No.
Thank you, Diggs.
No,
Thank you, Diggs.
This is COVID times. Pat, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a recent college graduate. Very excited about that. Software development. It's the future.
It is the future.
And I do podcasts, and I have become in my old age somewhat charitable. So I do podcasts for and try to raise awareness for certain charities.
That's awesome.
That's kind of what I do.
What kind of charities?
So my most recent one it's called Christopher's Promise, and it's a grassroots charity that literally selects children with specific diagnoses and raises the funds to have a bike built for them. So they're adaptive in whatever that their diagnosis would need. Their slogan is, letting kids be kids. And it resonated with me, and I was able to help during COVID. Like what we like to say is maybe one of the worst times we've ever had. I was able to do one of the most amazing things I've ever done in my life, is to help change a family's life and a young girl's life. So now it's literally, if you knew me before, I was really not very likable. And now I've turned into a nice guy.
I can't believe that, but I do have to ask, is there anything related to guitars in your life? I mean, there seems to be a few behind you.
Oh,
that's just wallpaper, Diggs. That's just wallpaper. It's 3D.
It's one of those, those images. It's a green screen.
Got it.
No, so my prior career was I'm a professional musician, and the peak, just for clicks, if it'll help, the peak for me was I was in the top 40 2000s band called Saving Jane, and we had a big hit called Girl Next Door, and we toured the world in a van, and that's actually how I got to know Lancaster very well. Is one of the greatest shows of my career was at a sold-out Chameleon Club. Amazing. It was amazing.
2006, I want to say.
Sounds about 2006, and it set a bar that was never paralleled. And I played a lot of cool places in that time period. I was very lucky and blessed to have a fun career. But as all things end, so here I am in my basement with my guitars and my gold and platinum records. I don't know if
for some context. So this year, the year 2020, the year that shall not be named,
right,
is our 30th friendiversary. I've known Pat Buzzard for 30 years this year.
That's right.
We met at the beginning of 1990. Technically, I think we met in December of 1989, but we're just going to let that go.
We're just going to
math. Yeah.
That doesn't count. Yeah.
So we go back a long way. And it's a real pleasure to have you on the show.
I have been following. I click in. I catch some of the program that you do at the Candy Factory. I'm a huge fan. I love everything you guys are doing.
I don't know that anyone has said, but you're in Columbus, Ohio.
I am in Columbus, Ohio, yes.
Oh, yeah. My dad's from Columbus, sorry. Just so you know.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Where's he live? No, I don't.
So, speaking of the Candy Factory, the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is part of the Candy Factory Collective, a media collective where we produce a ton of live streams and podcasts throughout the week, which, of course, is sponsored by and hosted by the mothership, the Candy Factory. That's a premier co-working space here in Lancaster, PA. Did you guys know that you can be a member all in access, right? So anytime that the doors are open, you can come in and work in here for only $100 a month. Did you know that?
What? That seems ridiculous.
Yeah, that's called our community membership. It's $100 all in. Anytime the doors are open, and we're now open on Tuesday evenings, Thursday evenings till 7, and Saturday from 9 to 5.
That sounds amazing.
So basically, we're telling you take Sunday off, but you can come in any other time.
Stay late on Tuesday.
For only $100. It's an awesome network. It's an awesome group of people. Not just the Candy Factory co-working space, but the Candy Factory Collective. You can check it out at coworkinginlancaster.com and candyfactorycollective.com. So if you're new to the show, here's how it works. I have an iPad. His name is Frank. Frank is going to dish up 5 random topics. We are going to talk about each topic for 5 minutes. Each topic, I'm going to say that again. Each topic for 5 minutes, and Frank will give us a little jingle. We'll move on to the next topic. Does that sound good?
Sounds amazing.
Does everybody feel loose, ready to 5x5 it?
Feel pretty good.
Sounds like a plan.
Here we go. This is episode 38 of the Candy Factory 5x5 podcast. Our first topic is spirit animal.
Ooh.
Spirit animal. Do you have a spirit animal? Diggs, we'll start with you.
Does it have? So it's can it be a spirit character, which that is an animal?
It can be whatever the fuck we want.
I don't think so, Diggs. If I'm being let me hear it. Let me see where it goes, and then I'll decide.
That sounds good. So my answer is Tigger.
Oh.
So let me.
So you're saying wait. You're saying a spirit character animal, not just a character. Not like I'm just not like the Fonz. It's not my.
Yeah, no. A spirit character animal.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Well, is this allowable?
Yeah. Go for it.
Yeah, let's go with it. I love it.
So the reason is there's an infamous story in my friend group where I might have imbibed a little too much, and I also grew up loving Winnie the Pooh. I was Winnie the Pooh for for I think 3 or 4 years as a kid for Halloween. But
now
for some
try
reason,
walking around without pants and just a shirt on, they get you arrested.
I know, yeah, can't do that now. But so for some reason this night I got stuck on Tigger after imbibing heavily, and so apparently I'm told I bounced home. In the vein of Tigger. So I think I'll own that. I'll just stick with Tigger being my spirit character animal.
You know, this is so crazy about this is that I probably haven't thought about Winnie the Pooh in, 15 years. And one of my clients this morning sent me an email and referenced Winnie the Pooh. And now you're talking about Winnie the Pooh. That's so weird when that shit happens. It's
kismet.
Kind of comes out of Pat, where are you at with the spirit animal?
So spirit animals, spirit animals for me goes in the same category as reincarnation. Everybody is always, they used to be somebody famous, or they were somebody, they're like no one was ever reincarnated a version of just some guy that lived in the neighborhood. It was always I was George Washington, or I was Attila the Hun, or whatever. And spirit animals, everyone's always a grizzly bear or a tiger or a shark or whatever, and nobody's like a groundhog. Nobody's
a groundhog, no.
Right, like nobody's like I'm a chipmunk. That's my spirit animal. So I think it's cool, all right, to look at some characteristics that you personify into a wild animal that would literally murder you given its opportunity. But if you want to identify with it and take some of its characteristics, totally cool. But I don't know. I'll say I'm a bear, but I mean, and we'll stick with the whole Winnie the Pooh thing. I'm a bear, but and Piglet what was Piglet? Like, was that
a pig?
Is it a pig or a guinea pig? Like,
no, that's a pig.
I'm pretty sure he's a pig. He's a baby pig.
Well, so you're talking about sort of like the characteristics of this animal.
Sure.
Whereas,
isn't that the whole spirit animal thing? Like,
no, see, our incredible producer, Ann Kirby, who just put the definition across the bottom, was saying that the spirit animal is an animal that, what the hell did it say? Comes to you and teaches. It's like it's a teacher. Thank you.
It's like the Native American sense.
It's a teacher or a messenger who comes in the form of an animal and has a personal relationship to an individual.
Oh, then it's like His Dark Materials. It's like the do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's kids' book, and now it's a show. Basically, if you're a character, you get this thing called a daemon, which is supposed to be. It is basically your spirit animal.
Spirit animal. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That helps guide you. It's like spirit. It's part spirit animal, part Jiminy Cricket, like conscience thing.
Okay. Okay. I don't have a fucking spirit animal. You know what I mean? Like I have no relate. There's no animal that's come and taught me anything.
Not a one.
Not that I can think of. Like there's never been like sort of a I've never had the vision, right, that the animal whatever, like the out of the flames of the campfire while sort of my 40 days in the woods, that the animal comes and sort of ascends and says the path that you must follow. The closest thing I can think of.
You make this sound like Mother Willow from Pocahontas. It's just like
That's cool. That's at least cool.
Yeah,
that's true.
and I don't even know, like, if I'm going to shift gears just a little bit to, like, just sort of like favorite animal or animal that I could relate to. I don't really
kinda
have
where I
any of
went.
those either. Yeah, you kind of went that direction.
Yeah.
I always go back to third grade. I did a book report on the duck-billed platypus, and it was just one of those. You go up to the table, and all the books are laid out, and you just pick one. And I picked up this thing, and I was just like, I thought it was like a monster, like, oh, this is a monster book. I was 8, so and I learned all about the duck-billed platypus, and since then, that's sort of been the animal that I kind of think about when someone said, like, if you were at a seminar and they say, think of an animal, I would think of the duck-billed platypus.
Sure.
The platypi. That's as far as I go and as close as I get.
So I feel like collectively we picked a cartoon character, something that we like, and something you did a book report on. I think we got it. We nailed it.
Well, gentlemen, our
Yes.
time at the Spirit Zoo has ended, and we must escort ourselves out of the zoo and on to topic number 2 of this episode's 5x5, which is worst sound you've ever heard. Worst sound you've ever heard. Worst sound you've ever heard.
Nails on chalkboards up there. That's not the worst ever, but it's up there. It's up there.
That's okay. I mean, I think that's a nice thing to say. I don't want to hear that. Like it's like, if you're like, pick a sound that you don't want to hear. You're like, nail the chalkboard. I'll just put that up there. But I immediately went, and maybe again I get these questions wrong. I'm 0 for 1 right now. My personal worst sound I could imagine hearing or have heard is like you're about to step in front of a large group of people and like your pants rip. You hear that seam rip. You know what it is, and you're and you're kind of just stuck. You're like, well, my ass is hanging out. Great.
Has that happened to you?
Did it sound like I was like maybe had a personal experience with it?
I
Felt like
had a
it.
thought. Yeah.
So
Yeah, so my friend told me,
yeah. So we're at the dentist, and
so you were getting ready to get in front of some people and you ripped your pants?
absolutely. Fortunately, my weight is like a roller coaster. I go from extremely doughy to not as doughy to maybe even borderline not doughy at all. And sometimes I'm not wearing the appropriate roller coaster of slacks for the time of my doughiness.
You hadn't gotten back out to H&M to refresh the wardrobe.
Right. So perhaps, maybe, I ripped the ass out of my pants one time getting on. It wasn't even an on-stage scenario. I was getting up to speak at this thing. And
Oh, man.
so you just do the front facing the whole time.
Right.
You just hope that you didn't split them the whole way around because you don't want to be like groping and looking for it. You just got to be like, maybe it's nothing. So that was the worst sound. When you said that, that's the first thing that popped into my head.
So that's a great story. And I'm sorry that you had to experience that.
Yeah, it
I
was
really
great.
do. Those moments, like right before something is about to happen, and the thing that you just can't control, it is miserable. It's a horrible experience.
You want to know one of the funny? I'll finish the story. It was at a Capital University. They do a music symposium, so it's like they have industry professionals come in. My topic, I was a speaker. My topic was how to stand out in the music industry, and the first thing I do before I get there is rip the ass out of my pants.
That'll do it.
That was my show.
That'll do it. You're like, you're never going to forget this guy.
Right.
Nope.
Never going to forget this guy.
So there's the whole story.
I think the worst sound that I've ever heard would be things like. So I have the latest one is. We have a house across the street from a construction zone. Well, it was when we bought the house about a year and a half ago. It was across the street from they were building an apartment building across the street, and the lifts. You know what I'm talking about? Like those. They're the
cherry picker things.
Yeah, but they're huge, right? And they say they're called lift on the side, but that's what they are. They go up and they do the roofing and they do the balconies and whatnot.
Is it like the ones that scissor, like they sort of fold up and down?
Yeah, it's more just Dig's guy. Yeah, we both went with this sort of duck goose shape. Anyway,
A duck-billed.
They beep when when anytime anything moves on that thing, they beep. Okay, and it just so happened that they were in the middle of construction before the COVID lockdown, and during and through the COVID lockdown. So suddenly you have to work from home, right? It's like, okay, shut down, go home. Everybody works from home. I live in an old house. It's about 100 years old. No replacement windows, and outside were not one, not two, but 3 different lifts with slightly different tone beeps.
So at any given time,
There
one of
wasn't
them is
even a
making noise.
tempo.
Yeah.
There wasn't even a tempo. It wasn't even like just the beep, beep, beep. It would be beep, 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 beep. It was torture.
I have anxiety. Like you just talking
Yeah.
about that, and like my heart rate is going up. Like
All day. 6 to 6. 6
I'm
to
really
6.
trying not to laugh at you. I'm sorry.
and of course you happen to live next to like the most diligent construction crew known to man. Like they never missed a day.
Well, it's because they paid somebody off to be able to keep working through the COVID stuff. And the boss was like, you get your asses over there and get this thing done.
Work.
Yeah, the entire economy is crashing around us. We need to get this thing done. And they worked. They were in there at 6 o'clock in the morning beeping. And it was like, to this day, if I'm driving down the street and I see one, I'm like, I just point. I'm just like, the devil. There it is.
Is this why Marty bugs you so much at Giant?
Yes. Yes. So, Pat, for context, Marty is a robot in our grocery store chain called
Beep, beep.
Giant. Beep, beep.
Beep, beep.
Beep. And Marty just rolls around the grocery store and beeps.
Is it like what does the robot do?
Nothing. Abso-fucking-lutely nothing. It just gets in the way. That's all it does. That was gonna be my worst sound, by the way.
Oh, I didn't even get. I'm sorry, Diggs.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Your stories were great.
We got to turn the volume down on topic number 2 and move on to topic number 3, which is favorite board games. Favorite
Ooh,
board
Life.
games. Life.
Yes.
Why do
Absolutely.
you love Life? This is all Diggs because we totally shut him out.
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm gonna hijack you soon.
Yeah.
You should.
Like
I
3
don't know
more
because
seconds, that's all I could wait.
Just 3. That's all I get. I think it's because it was the first time I find I actually okay. Let me for full context. The first board game I ever got was Monopoly. I was 4. It was my great uncle trying to teach me how to don't fall into bankruptcy, stuff like that, which I didn't get until I played Life, and then Life is a lot easier to understand as a game compared to Monopoly. Even though I played Monopoly first, Life actually made it make sense.
Right.
There are other games I like. I mean, if you've listened to the show or watched the show, you know that I love trains. So Ticket to Ride is also a fun game for me. Some versions of Risk, if it can be sped up, I don't really like the long, drawn-out original version of Risk that can go kick with the rocks somewhere. But yeah, I guess. I'm also notorious for being the one person that poo-poos trying new games, mostly because I get frustrated with everybody trying to figure out what the rules are, and that's 2 hours of our lives and we're not actually playing. It's just so. I know that's not the topic, so
Right. Well, it's interesting that you were on Monopoly when you were 4, considering your experience reading the New York Times when you were in first grade.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
I got to be honest. I was a little bit like, wow, that's old Diggs was on it. Your
Diggs
uncle was the man.
Uncle Jeff wasn't playing. He
Yeah.
he
all
was
right,
on
get
it.
over here. Put the pacifier down. We're going to talk about your investments. We're going to talk about real estate.
And Black History. That was it.
Yeah.
You pretty much nailed it.
Uncle Jeff. Pat, what about you? Board games.
Okay, so one question that I've always had is Connect 4 a board game?
No,
No.
Why not?
it's not a board.
I don't know. It comes in the flat box. It comes.
It's not a fucking board
I will
game, Pat.
accept that Scrabble is a board game. I've heard that debate. Is Scrabble a board game?
I would have thought that wasn't. So since
neither.
I can't say apparently Connect 4.
Look, Pat's going to argue Game Boy is a board game here. So I mean, Scrabble is Scrabble is
Scrabble's in. So there was a game, and I promise you, I can't remember anything about it. but it was called Sorry. That's all I remember
Yes.
was as a
Oh,
kid.
yeah.
We played Sorry. That was like the big game, and I want to say it had like a Popple dice roller, like a
The
Popple.
Pop-O-Matic. I think they copyrighted that or trademarked it.
So if they didn't, they should. But that would be my favorite, just because I have like the most. Like I have a lot of memories playing that game. So
You don't play board games now, like on any kind of regular basis?
well, my son's 7, so we do play, but it's still a lot of shoots and ladders and crying. So
Yes. Dude, Dick, do you play board games regularly? Like get
No, there
together
was-
with the friends or holidays or something like that?
But pre-COVID times, there was a group of friends that were playing games pretty regularly. But I was I think I was sort of viewed as the grump sitting in the corner, just like. And I didn't mind being around them. I just was like, I'm not trying to learn a new thing because it's just gonna frustrate me. So I'm
Yeah.
happy that you're happy. That's my attitude.
I'm not a game guy. I've never really been much of a game guy. We played the standards as a kid, the usuals. But I would say probably like Shoots and Ladders. When you brought that up, that's sort of my first vivid memory. Shoots and Ladders, and like because it's a simple game. And I actually went back. I don't know where I was in the last couple of years where there was some little kids around and they had it, and I was like, oh, let me check. Let me check.
and you're like, "Where's your Monopoly board, kid?"
Yeah, I was like, you're gonna, you know what I mean? What are you gonna do with all that money? Like, you're losing money. You're leaving money on the table,
Come
kid.
here, kid.
Get over here, kid.
Look at the Connect Four is actually an abstract strategy game that is both entertaining and educational.
Oh,
But,
You know what?
but it is not a board
I
game.
need a producer. I got to be honest. Like this is amazing. In mine, my show, it's just me. I got this thing. That's amazing.
No.
And,
you need a
no
collective,
facts.
man. You need a
I
collective.
do need a collective. Can I be
Just
a
not the
remote
board.
member? Something like that.
You certainly can. We actually have a virtual membership.
What does that give me?
To the Candy Factory? Gives you access. Well, look, we'll talk about that
Access
later.
to
We're
access to
great.
digital board games. No, I'm joking.
Access the digital board games.
to our board game club.
Yeah.
There actually have been some board games, activities and stuff organized here at the Candy Factory. The thing about it is for me is I don't know. I'm more into conversation, and I know you can kind of do that during the board game kind of thing, but like when I'm hanging out with, like if I get together with people at a party or something like that, I want to like just talk. Like I'm just kind of into the conversation more so than into the whole like let's stop and. But anyway, this game is over, my friends.
Yeah, this game is completely over.
It's time for topic number 4 of this episode's 5x5, which is airport parking. Airport parking. Don't get me started.
I have very strong feelings about airport parking.
Talk to us. Talk to
This ought to
us.
be good.
So-
And now, wait. You have to say which airport we're talking about, though.
That's good.
For me, it's CMH, Columbus, Ohio's airport.
Premier.
And
Columbus, Ohio's premier
airport. We have many airports here, but this is the one where like the planes come
in.
from.
This is where the planes land.
Right. It's the one that's the one I generally use. So for years and years and years, I was don't pay for the parking. Stay as far away from the airport as possible. And then I'm talking even pre 9/11 when air travel was you could ride your bicycle up to the gate. There was nothing it's so ludicrous now when you see old movies, how people you're like, oh yeah, that's how we used to go to the airport, with no concerns whatsoever. So I would always say the further away you could park, the better. Well, then the process got longer. And then, post 9/11, the process gets longer and the process just keeps getting longer and longer. So I now will pay the premium to park as close to the gate as possible. Because I got so much other time invested in just getting to the damn gate. I don't want to do that. And I'm also not a get there early person because all I'm going to do is peruse the stores and look at why do they sell luggage at airports? That's something that's always bothered me.
No, actually, I can explain. I was
Don't most people usually have their luggage though?
This is true. So I had a situation where my bag broke. My carry-on broke in transit. So it actually came in handy. I was so mad. I was pissed that I had to buy it.
But airport shopping, you're like, you know what? $4,700 does seem like a deal for that leather clad.
Oh, I love when
Suitcase.
when they get you on the like headphones. I don't know why that gets me every time, but it's just like I know I saw these for $100 and you're trying to sell them for $250. Like,
Yeah. Markup.
come on.
Shipping. You know, because
Yeah,
they
yeah,
fly
yeah.
it in there first.
It's the handling to go through TSA. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
So, anyways, park as close as you can, and it's worth the price.
Yeah.
That was my shortened version.
Now, Diggs, as a New Yorker, like, what's the story up there?
Oh hell no! You're not driving to the damn airport. Are you kidding me? No. that's if you
They don't even have parking lots. They don't even fuck it. You know what I mean?
There just is no. Like,
You would be
drive up, you
surprised.
can't
Oh,
get in.
I should clarify. So if it's JFK, I understand because there's just so many international flights and like folks driving out off of Long Island to get to JFK. I give them that.
Even from
But
here, you might drive up to JFK.
even from here, that's a good point. Fair point. But driving to, I have driven to Newark because it just wasn't inconveniently. My flights were inconveniently timed for taking Amtrak up. But if you're in New York and if you're in the city and you drive to like LaGuardia, you are insane. That is just the dumbest thing you could potentially do because it's just the parking's going to be out the ass. There's going to, yes sir.
Pat.
How do you get there?
Oh, but you can.
You have,
LaGuardia
like,
is
kids and a bunch of luggage and like
it will you will still you. Oh, sorry. Let me clarify. I mean, driving your own car. You can take a taxi.
I know, but
Yeah,
I mean,
okay.
if you're taking your family, that's my only question because I'm old now and I think in those terms.
Yeah.
Oh, I
He's got a 7-year-old, so he's in that zone.
Like I got to
If
take a
you're-
bunch of shit with
It's
me.
a goddamn minivan's worth of shit when you're going anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
So is that something that you factor in, or do you just if that's the case, you just fly out of Philly, like you just drive down?
Oh yeah, no. If we're talking about from here, yeah, I'm.
No,
avoiding-
I know the New York thing though. Like if you're in New York, you're like, you know what, we're not flying out of New York. We're just gonna go somewhere else. and fly
Yeah, but
out.
I think
I see what you're saying.
yeah, but I think there's
Probably.
there's probably some constraints. Like we are used to not being in New York and having children. I'm assuming that in New York there's a whole different vibe around like
right.
what you take with you. You know what I mean? And that kind
That's
of
just a different way of going. So
Yeah. Like I can't
retract
imagine
my statement.
I can't imagine living in like in like Manhattan and carrying like a pack and play and a walker and a I mean you just a
Those
backpack
get shipped
barely.
to where you're going.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Or you just buy one when you get there and
I've
sell
argued
it.
to just buy it and then put it on Craigslist the night you're leaving, and just take best offer.
Just put it out on the curb with a
Yeah.
free sign. Just
Just
in your luggage, pack a sign that says free stuff.
You know what? We did buy a stroller once growing up in here. We bought a stroller for my sister when we got down south because
you couldn't get it there.
Well, no. We
No,
we
you
actually
couldn't
did
take
bring
it.
it. It got another case of it broke in transit. So
Damn, Diggs.
I didn't break it this time. That had nothing to do with me. But we did have to buy a stroller, and then I think we sold it or left it at the motel we were at. I don't remember what we did. But
That's what I'd have done.
Well,
Jason, what's your parking?
Jason, I'm curious.
you know what? It doesn't really matter because this plane just landed, and it's time for topic number 5 on this episode's 5 by 5. The final topic for today's episode is licking toads. Licking toads.
Who's this? Who did that?
Frank,
Scott C. Scott C.
Oh, this is my fault. I forgot that I let Scott. Thanks, Scott.
Did you hand him your phone? All right, so for some context for our listeners and viewers out there.
I'm a little.
So
out of here.
Frank is my iPad, and he dishes up our topics. Now, these aren't random topics like from the Google, right? So it's not like the entire universe worth of information. We have apps on our phones where when we either think of interesting topics we would like to talk about, or when our friends suggest interesting topics we'd like to talk about, we open up the app and we plug it in, right? So we have this constant sort of revolving list of hundreds of random topics. Sounds like Diggs maybe handed somebody his phone while he was entering topics, and there was some alcohol involved.
There was some alcohol involved. I actually,
Libations.
I do remember what we were talking about. We were talking about the fact that there are those like little tiny cute toads that are actually super poisonous, and then it like the conversation spiraled out of control into what licking toads could do for you. But
Did someone suggest that licking toads would get you high? Because our producer just indicated that licking toads won't get you high, which seems to indicate that someone may be spreading this misinformation that it will.
Seems like it's a myth, according to the producer.
Seems like an urban legend of some kind.
that is fair.
Was that part of the conversation?
No, it was literally those toads are cute. Oh, they're also poisonous. Oh no.
Well,
And then-
yeah, and then there we go. Well, in that case, then here's a question for you two. Have you ever licked an animal?
I have I. I
I
have.
can only say, I'm gonna say no. I don't have.
But is that the truth?
Yeah, he's like, there was this incident back in '88
well?
where I feel like it's blurry, but I feel like that
right. There's moments of my life that are very blurry, and I don't know. I can't speak with 100% fact, but I'm gonna say I know me fairly well, and licking an animal is not something I probably would do. It doesn't seem like me.
Have you ever? So I was going to take it to. I've definitely bitten animals, in the sense of like.
Please
so hold
elaborate.
on. So okay, Jason, you have met the puppy that's in my house.
Yes.
So, the puppy is still very bitey. So if and sometimes if she is biting me and we're on the couch, I won't actually bite her, but I'll like
yeah,
gum
nibble.
her
You
ear.
nibble.
Yeah, just as a like. How do you like it?
Take that.
Yeah, a little bit. But I've never licked her. I'm not going to lick her because no.
No, it seems disgusting. I mean, I may have licked an animal by accident, like
Huh? No. What? Explain that.
Well, like say the dog who lives in my house, Ollie, will sometimes want a French kiss,
Sure.
and so he'll get all up in my face and start licking. So it's possible that in my in the flurry of activity that happens right around there, that I'm not going to say that I have never lapped the
Sure.
dog's nose
Yeah.
as he lunges toward my mouth. Like, I'm not going to
fair-
say that. But there's nothing that's been documented. Let's just put it that way. And just
Certainly the intent. You maybe there was an incidental, but you never have intended to lick another animal.
never the intent to lick. I've never been charged with intent to lick an animal, as far as I know. But now to swing back to what Pat was talking about. So Pat and I, we were friends in college, and we went to college in northwestern Pennsylvania at Clarion University, and we drank a lot.
A lot.
And now both of us have given that up. We have moved past that for good reason. But there are days of my life that are unaccounted for.
Complete mystery.
That don't have. There's no. It's like someone just hacked in and just took that little memory and threw it away. So I can't say for sure. I mean, I couldn't say for sure that during one of those benders there wasn't an animal didn't get licked. I can't say that.
Right.
My assumption based on the lack of, say, fur found at the scene, that no animal was licked. But I can't. I'm not gonna swear on a Bible.
Oh, this is what we were talking about. Sorry, Ann, you hit the nail on the head about how it can induce hallucinations, and it involves licking the back skin of a toad or extracting those secretions. I forgot because, as I said, there were some libations that evening. But yes, that is what we were talking about. That was the logical leap.
Okay, so this is my real question.
Yeah.
How many animals did you try licking before you got messed up?
Oh, as the person who's
Yeah,
who
when
would
you're
do that?
experimenting with this, you're like, you know what seems like a good idea? Licking animals and see if one of them gets us all wasted. Like,
Let's start with the otter.
yeah, otter first.
Yep.
Nope.
Alphabetical. Let's start
Right.
alphabetical.
Nope.
Aardvark. Anybody got an aardvark?
Moving on. Well, the tongue is going back in the mouth because that is the end, my friends, of this episode's 5x5. That is the fastest 25 minutes in podcasting.
No. By the
Fastest.
time it starts, it's almost over.
It's
Yes, it really is.
practically. big thanks to our producer, Ann.
I've learned so much. One of those things being I need a producer for my show.
Yeah, if you're looking for knowledge, if you're looking to enrich your mental capacity, just thank you. We love you, Ann. Thank you so much for being our producer. Pat, it's a pleasure to have you on the show.
It was a great time. I needed a good day like this.
Let's not let it be the last time.
I'd love to. Diggs is awesome.
You too.
Thanks,
Yeah,
my
I
friend.
forget, Jason.
It's always a pleasure to hang out with you.
You
And
too. Thank you.
we will catch you all next time on 5 by 5. The Candy Factory 5 by 5 podcast
Is a proud member of the Candy Factory Collective. 5x5 video can be found on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn.
Subscribe to the audio version wherever you get your podcasts.
The Candy Factory 5x5 podcast is recorded at the studios of the Candy Factory,
a co-working campus in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
The show is produced and hosted by Jason Mundock,
along with co-host Robert Diggs.
Editing and additional production by Anna Tran.
The opinions and views expressed on this podcast
Are solely those of the expressor.
The Candy Factory is not in any way responsible if anyone said something stupid.
Our theme music was composed
and recorded by a really cool guy.
Really cool guy.
A really cool guy.
Named John Chin.
Relevant links and show notes
Can be found on the show post.
At our website, candyfactorycollective.com.
Maybe that's it.
Is that it? Okay.
Candy Factory.